So, guess who I'm having dinner with? This is Burt Goldman. And I just drove 2 hours from San Diego to Rancho Mirage to meet this man. And so we've been discussing a whole range of really interesting topics. Burt always blows my mind every time I get a chance to have a conversation with him. But wanted to share with you a conversation we just had. It's about Feng Shui, the Chinese art of positioning things in a room to bring about good luck. I've always believed Feng Shui was a crock of BS. But Bert just showed me a different way to think about it. So Bert, you call yourself a Feng Shui expert. Tell us about Feng Shui and your take on it.
Well, so many stories come to mind, but one in particular, I was in Greece with a friend of mine, and we were driving from Athens to, well, we were driving a couple of hours. And I had just done a Feng Shui class, and Panos, my friend who was driving the car, said, let's get something to eat. So we stopped at a fast food place. They do have them in Greece, although they're not quite the same. They're pretty nice. Anyway, we finished lunch in the car, and because we had a long drive, it was a 2-hour drive, and the car was a mess. And Panos said, too bad you can't feng shui the car. And I said, well, you can. What are you going to feng shui it for? I said, well, I'll figure it out while I'm doing it. And so I took all the papers, and one of the things about feng shui is you have to get rid of clutter. And we had plenty of clutter. So I cleaned up the car, and I put a few things on the dashboard and this, that, and I won't go into all the details. But all of a sudden, it came to me, slow down. This comes out of feng shui sometimes. You get messages. Inspirational. And for me, feng shui is inspiration. And after I had set all the things in place, I said, Panos, slow down. He was going about 80 miles an hour. And he says, what? I said, slow down. It was almost like a command, and he didn't know what I was, so he took his foot off the accelerator, and he slowed down, went from 80 to about 40. And just then we came to a curve, and we went around the curve, and there were 2 police officers sitting in a car watching. It was, like a trap. And Panos looked at him, he looks at me and says, how'd you do that? I says, how'd I do what? He says, I don't have my license. If they would have stopped us, if I wouldn't have slowed down, I'd be in jail right now.
You guys would have been in jail, right?
He said, how'd you do that? I said, well, I did it feng shui. Well, after that, I started really thinking, what is this with this feng shui? What's going on? Because I teach feng shui a little bit differently. I go to the corners. I know that the southeast is this and the northwest is this. I know the money corner and the relationships corner. Why does it work? Well, a lot of it has to do with intent. Now, as an example, now you're going to do a little traveling right now. Well, I'd like to feng shui this table for you so that you'll have a good trip and good luck. Now, how do I do that? Well, what I'm going to do now is make a pattern here, but with intent. I'm not just throwing things around. Everything that I'm doing here, I'm doing with intent. I'm taking this glass here, I'm moving the condiments here, the glass of water here, the lamp right here, and I'm making a bit of a pattern. Now, what kind of a pattern am I making? It doesn't really matter. My intention is that this feng shui pattern is creating a good luck period for you traveling back to where you're going, to Santa Monica. And that's it.
And you intend it, so it's
my intention is there, and I just feng shuied the table.
So the pattern is really meaningless. It's the intention that you put forth when you position these things around.
The pattern has meaning. It's not meaningless, but it can be any pattern as long as you are the one who creates it.
So
with an intention in mind.
So the reason feng shui works is because of the intention that you're putting out.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's awesome stuff. So feng shui helps you have a great, in my case, a great road trip back to Santa Monica, or in Bert's case, dodging the police. He's a badass.
If I go to someone's home and feng shui their living room, the first thing that I'm going to ask them is, what do you want the living room for? And the response usually is, What do you mean? To sit in. I said, no. Do you want it for a good conversation? Do you want it to occasionally to sleep in? What do you want it for? Well, for camaraderie. Oh, you want it for good conversations, camaraderie? Yes. Now I know how to do it.
Right.
But if somebody just says, come into my living room and feng shui it, it's meaningless. It's impossible.
Got it. So it's really about the intention.
Yes.
Awesome, Bert. Cheers.